What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal information is in the link below too. They asked me to put it up. I put it up. This video, though, is entitled Short-Term versus Long-Term Thinking. Talking to some family, and we were talking about, mentalities. And the conversation came up with some people think short term and some people think long term, and there's a big difference with that. The difference is this: a lot of times when somebody thinks short term, it's an impulse about something they want to get, or don't want to do, in a sense, in my opinion. So they think so their whole plan is to get what they want, whether it's something they want or don't want to do, right? But to get their way. But most short-term thinkers have this problem. See, it's cool when they get their way, but it's not cool when they have to face the consequences about that choice. And that's a big difference between short-term thinkers and long-term thinkers. Because all of a sudden you'll make a impulsive decision and you'll be happy because you got what you wanted in an impulsive way. But now when it's time to deal with the consequences of your wants, your desires, you now all of a sudden the world is wrong. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. That's kind of like a short-term thinking thing. They have those movie clips and those television clips where you make a deal with the devil, or grant a wish, and you ask for this, but you didn't think about what could be attached to it, and then you get what you want, but what's attached to it is not really worth you getting your wish. So that's a problem, right? Big problem. Now, long-term thinkers, have to take into consideration all of the short-term things that happen in the interim. Like, this is what I want at the end. So these are the things that I might have to put up, that I might lose at in the interim before I get to this end, because it's not going to be perfect. Like, long-term thinkers understand that the situation is not going to be perfect. They understand that the plan is not going to go completely the way that they have it in their mind. Chess versus checkers, right? Checkers is immediate, bop, bop, but you could be so impulsive that you can set yourself up for a loss with one move, because you out here attack, get what I want, and then somebody bop, 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 king me, game. Chess, you make a move, and then, you make a couple of moves, they make a couple of moves, and then you're looking like, I'm going to have to rethink this plan this way, because the end I want to win, but they're doing things I couldn't anticipate. So now I have to adjust. So, but you can adjust. So a lot of times people who think long term, they don't take a loss as devastating. A short-term loss isn't as devastating to them. The other thing, short-term thinkers have a habit of, especially when of their impulses affecting other people's lives. See, they only think about what they want, their way, and short-term thinkers often get themselves into situations that they can't get themselves out of. So you want to get what you want. You get what you want, but to get out of it, now you need somebody else to pull you out of these situations. And it's like, what? Because that's the problem. Ultimately, that's the problem. Because, I wanted to get my way. You got your way. Well, can you help me get out of getting my way? Because the escape plan is always somebody who's not involved with your short-term thinking. And long-term thinkers, they know that they got themselves into these situations, and they have to have contingencies to get themselves out of situations. You have to be prepared for things like this. You know. Along with that, about contingencies. If you notice, the difference between short-term thinkers and long-term thinkers is short-term thinkers act like they're oblivious to who they are internally. Long-term thinkers know themselves. So you have to make a contingency plan for your own nature. You have to say, you know what, this is who I am. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. And I have to make a contingency plan for either overdoing my strengths or getting caught up in my weaknesses, or something catching me in my weaknesses. Short-term thinkers don't do that. It's just, you know, I'm stupid. I don't know that about me. But you do know your own nature, and it's impulsive and selfish. You know you're impulsive and you know you're selfish. You know the strengths of that and you know the weaknesses of that. You just don't want to deal with the responsibility of that. So you act oblivious. You know, people don't want to take that into consideration at times. Now, I say this in the best way I can say it right now because I can't think of another way to say it. Short-term thinkers don't take care of things, so they don't accumulate things. So they're stuck being short-term thinkers because always hopping on an impulse is ooh, I got what I wanted. But they're like children. You know, when a child, you know, gets what they want, they play with it for 5 minutes and then it's over with. When an adult gets what they want, they play with it for 5 minutes, then they put it up in a place for safekeeping that they can go back to play with it again when they need to or when they want to. That's a big difference. Big difference. Because what happens is this. Now, you're dealing with somebody who is always starting from scratch in a short-term thinker. Always. Because what winds up happening with them? Oh, I got to get this. But the long-term thing is like, didn't you have that already? I didn't, like, I had a friend. Well, I have a friend. And they did something that was real stupid to me. We went to the shoe store. They bought some shoes. And it was impulsive. I just want some shoes. So they grab a box of shoes. They walk out. They pay for the shoes. They walk out. They get the receipt. They don't put the receipt in the bag. They get out of the store. They crumple up the receipt and just throw it in the street. And I'm like, why did you do that? Whatever. They got home, realized they picked the wrong size shoe. Where's the receipt? I gotta get the receipt. You threw the receipt away the minute you walked out the store. What am I do? Go back to the store. But they gonna give me a hassle because I ain't got no receipt. Okay. You're gonna have to use other methods to say that you paid for it. Bring the bag. Oh, I threw away the bag. And it wasn't one of those situations where you just left and you turn around and come back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, you threw away the seat, but you turn around and come back, they recognize you. Okay. No, they waited. They figured it out the next day, and it's like you stupid. You stupid. But they have a habit of doing stuff like this. This is one of the reasons I don't hang out with them to this day. Because it's always something. And it's always something that's preventable. You know? And this is what I mean by when you hang out with people who are long-term thinkers, they keep receipts of life. Like, if this pops up, at least I'm going to have my proof. You know? What happened? I got a little situation that I need to handle real quick. Okay, well, they get right back to it. Here's my info. This is that, and the third. Blah, 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 blah. And then you go, okay. Got it. No problem. But see, that's the difference between short-term thinking and long-term thinking. Like, I bring up parenting. There are people who parent short term and parent long term. You know, when you're a short term parent, you're parenting your child to love you. When you're a long term parent, you're parenting your child to be successful in life. So who winds up at the end of the day? Who winds up with the issue? Because there are a lot of parents who raise their kid to love them, but they never taught them anything or put them in situations to be taught anything. So now as adults, I love you, but I don't like you. And on the flip side, you got parents who are long-term thinkers, who raise their kids to be successful in life. And what happens in the beginning? You know, when they're young, I don't like you, but as they get grown and they're able to take care of themselves and their family, but now I love you because I understand. That's the difference. You know, the difference is in the results. And short term gets results and long term gets results. But long term normally gets results that you can live with. Short term thinking gets you results you regret. So we out on this one. Peace.